Hi, my name is Carly Sheppard, and I am your child social studies teacher this year. A little bit about me before I dive into talking about what eighth grade social studies is going to look like. I was born and raised in Highland Park as well. I went to Braeside, Edgewood, and Highland Park High School. I continued on to the University of Wisconsin, where I got a bachelor's degree in history and then got a master's in education at National Louis University. I have now been teaching at Edgewood for 14 years. This is my 14th year here. And I have taught all three grade levels. I love eighth grade. For the past few years, I've been doing a seventh and eighth grade split. So this year, there are some familiar faces in my class from my seventh grade class last year. And this year, I am only eighth grade. So I will be teaching all eighth grade social studies classes. I love teaching at Edgewood. I think it is a great place to be, a great place for students to learn. And although this year is a little bit different, we are working our hardest to certainly make their learning experience the same as if they were in person every day for social studies as well. One thing that you cannot see on the computer is that I am expecting a baby girl in January. I currently have a 3-year-old son and live downtown with my husband and my son. A little bit about the class. I'm going to share my screen here. We will be using Otis for almost everything that we do in the class. This is what Otis looks like in terms of the lessons. Every day I post a lesson. The lesson gives students an idea of what they can expect from class that day. If a student is absent from our Zoom session for whatever reason, they should make sure to look on Otis and the lessons, and they could see what we're going to be doing during our class time on Zoom and what their homework is. Okay, the homework will say when it's due. For example, the news feed assignment is due tomorrow. In terms of the actual assignments, all assignments will appear in the Assessments tab on the left-hand side. Although they are assignments, they do appear as assessments. This is what my feed will look like when I can see how many students have completed an assignment, how many are graded, how many are still left to grade, and how many have not yet started. These are the 3 assignments that we've had. The weekly social studies news feed is something that students will be continuing, a document that they will be continuing to edit every week on a current event story, and we will be discussing those stories on Friday. So that will be due every Friday. Otherwise, most of the work that we do will be done in class. Sometimes students may not finish during the class period, and they might have to finish the assignment after class. And there will also be projects throughout the year that students will be continuing to work on throughout the class as well. Some might be done outside of class time. Some might have class time to work on it. It will depend on the project and if they are working in groups, by themselves, with a partner, and so on. The other program that I want to direct you to is TCI. Both of these, Otis and TCI, can be found in Clever. That's where students will be able to access it. TCI is the textbook that we used last year in social studies as well. 8th grade social studies is a continuation of what the students learned in 7th grade. It's U.S. history from approximately the turn of the 20th century through modern times. So we will be starting with chapter 19, scrolling down the Great Wave of Immigration. The students will be creating an immigration scrapbook, putting themselves in the mind of an immigrant, and creating a scrapbook of their journey to America, thinking about why they left their home country, what made them want to come to America, what it was like for them upon arrival, and so on. We'll then be talking about the Industrial Revolution, where we will be doing our first inquiry. The students will be examining a series of questions and developing answers to those questions as well. From the Industrial Revolution, we will get into the Progressive Era and then into World War I. This is a fairly chronological class. We will look at the Roaring 20s and the Great Depression, then getting into World War II. We will be spending a good deal of time learning about the Holocaust toward the end of the school year. That will happen approximately after spring break this year. And then we will be looking at the 1960s, including the Vietnam War, the Cold War, turmoil in the country, and so on. So that is an overview of what social studies will be this year. If you have any questions at any time, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Email is the best way to get in touch. My email is CSheppard@nssd112.org. I will do my best to respond to you as soon as possible. But again, please email at any time with any questions if you're having any difficulty with the technology. Again, this is a very new process to all of us, using the technology for learning. And my goal is to make your child's social studies experience as authentic as it would be if they were in the classroom.